I have created an app with that you can have liquid glass, frosted glass and material look in a single app. And this one is using refractions that are refracting the background in real time. And this is the most customizable one that you can get. And some are saying that it is even better than what Apple has implemented in iOS 26. So let's get started. On the Play Store, you can see there is some descriptions that I have provided, but it can get a bit overwhelming because there are a lot of things that are needed to be done to set up this app properly. So I'm going to take you step by step. As you can see, this is my current setup. It is using 2 pages setup, and keep in mind the launchers that does not support scroll wallpaper, they are not supported with this feature of having multiple pages. So I'm targeting U1 UI. Now the Pixel UI supports it fully, and the other launchers such as Nova Launcher, Launchers, Trebuchet, all of them are very well supported. You can see I have set how many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 shapes that I have set up, and all are using squircle round corners, and I have set up that on the lock screen as well, and it gives you a good transition when you come from the lock screen to the home screen, as you can see. And all of these you can customize. So right now it is giving you liquid glass, and if I go to the app and turn this opacity to 100%, and now using the choose color option, you can have a material hue look. And if I again reduce the transparency, increase the blur and reduce the refraction and rim light, so you will get a frosted glass look. And now we are going to talk about how you can set this up based on your liking. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the app info. I'm going to clear the storage, or even better, I'm going to Play Store. Let me uninstall the app and then install it, so that I will share the experience that you will get when you install this app. So when you open the app, you will be greeted with a display permission step. This is important because otherwise you will not be able to edit your glasses. So for that, just you need to grant permission and allow display over other apps. Turn that on, and when you go back to your app, you will see one more battery usage. So if you do not give this permission, there may be some chances that your RAM or the resources of your phone will be full and the app will not stay in the memory. So for that, it is important that we set up unrestricted battery usage. So in the app info of this, you can say allow background storage and then set it up as unrestricted. Now when I come back to the app, in the app you will only see one shape. It is just for the look of how the glass or the shape looks like. And on the home screen, if I set it as apply wallpaper, so that is the number one step, apply wallpaper, set wallpaper on home and lock screen both. And when you go to the home screen, you will see there are two shapes by default and nothing else. And the same thing is applied on your lock screen as well. Now, to set up these different things, first just take a screenshot of your lock screen because it will come handy later on. And now go back to the app. You will see this first button, edit layout on home screen. You turn that on and it will take you to the home screen. It will give you this edit panel on the top where you can see one button is there, edit lock. It shows you the configuration of lock screen and home screen. Below that you can see shape number 1, shape number 2, and below that there is one visible button, so you can make individual shapes visible on either lock screen or home screen. The second option is panel. So right now it is a panel, and using the resize icon you can resize the shape freely, but if you click on the panels, it converts it to icon and now it remains square. Now there are two sliders. One is the grid snap. So you can see right now it is snapping with 10 pixels in the grid. So if I increase that to 80, you will see now it is snapping at 80, and you will see these blue dashed lines which will align shapes with the other shapes. So here you can see when I'm doing this alignment engine is built in, and if I reduce it to, let's say, 0, the alignment won't work, and it will help you, or it will let you align these things freely. For moving the shapes, you can just tap and hold and move around. The global icon or this other slider is for the roundness. Here you can see the global roundness, and it will change the roundness for either icons or panels. So the global roundness for all the icons will be changed, or global roundness for all the panels will be changed. But using the G button, you can transform it to local. And if I press L, now it is the local panel roundness. So it will be dependent only on this particular shape. And then there are, of course, undo and redo buttons. There is the close button, so it will delete the shape. G and L for the global and local roundness. This lock button is for, so let's say if you don't want this shape to be on a single page, but you want it repeating on all of the pages, in that case, you can lock this shape. This one is for the duplicate. The last one is for adding an extra shape. So now you can see I have 4 shapes here. So let me just delete those. So you can see since we have locked the second shape, and now this user interface is working as an overlay because it is allowing you to edit all the shapes on the lock screen or the home screen. So it will not let you swipe left or right. So for that, you just need to tap once on the empty area other than the shapes or this edit panel. So when you tap on it, you will get a 2-3 seconds where the menu will be hidden. And if you tap and swipe, so it will let you swipe. And you can see the shape number 1 is moving between the pages, and the shape number 2 stays there. So now let's just move the shape number 2 below. I'm going to set it up as a background of the dock. Let me increase the grid size to, let's say, 10. And it is using bottom left anchor for the resize. So first we need to set the bottom left anchor, and then we can use the resize button to resize the shape. Now let's say this is how I want it. And because the dock stays same in all the pages, at least in this launcher, so I'm gonna leave it as it is. And for setting up the icons background, I can take the second shape. Let's say I'm gonna use a global roundness. I reduce the size, and let's make it a circle in shape. And now I just need to align it with the icon. So something like that. And of course, for other icons, I can duplicate that. So using the duplicate button, you can have another shape. And then a duplicate, align this, and add a duplicate, and align the last one as well. So while aligning, it will give you these lines so that all of the shapes are aligned properly. Now you can see I'm out of shapes, so I need one more shape, so I can just tap on the plus button. It will give me one extra shape, and I can align the bottom left corner, and like that I can do it. And then I can adjust the roundness to match other elements of my widget. So now you can see if I'm swiping from one page to another, all of those shapes are moving along with the widgets. And that's how you can set up your home screen. But what if you want to set up the lock screen as well? Because this menu will not be available on the lock screen. So just select the single image. The screenshot that we took earlier, we can set that as the background using the single image button. And now you can see that image is applied at the wallpaper. And now I can simply reduce the glass blur and the refractions. And then I can go again to the home screen and click on the edit lock. So it goes to the lock screen edit mode. And we can say there are a lot of shapes. Some are invisible, some are visible. So I just need a couple of them. I can maybe put one behind the lock screen's clock and one behind the fingerprint icon. So let me just take the first one. It is visible, and this one is 6. I can make it invisible so it is not here. Let me just align the first one like that, and I can increase the roundness so that it matches the fingerprint icon. So something like that. And then let's set the second one somewhere here. And also you can see that when the shape is moved towards the top, because you cannot adjust all of these settings if the shape is behind the status bar, so these toggles, these cross button and the resize button, will be put downwards of the shape. And now you can apply like that. Just make sure no other extra shapes are visible that you do not want on the lock screen. And then I can just close. And now I can change the wallpaper. You can either select a single image or you can select a wallpapers folder. So let's just select a wallpaper folder. Let's go to custom. I have a lot of wallpapers over here. So maybe I can select the folder. And now in the app itself, you can swipe left and right to change the folders. So let's say I select this one or maybe some other. I think, yeah, that looks nice. So now I am in the app. I have set up all of those shapes on the home screen and lock screen. Now I just need to change the look of it. So I'll go one by one. First one is of course the edit these shapes button. Second is the parallax effect. So when you press on that button, it will zoom in the wallpaper a little bit, and then you can move your phone around to have a parallax effect. And now let's set up rim light's rotation however you want, but you have turned on the parallax, then it will rotate automatically based on the orientation of your phone. You can set glass blur either little bit, or if you want a frosted look, you can increase it to the maximum. And then the refraction strength and how much you want inside the glass. So refraction width. And of course, the glass color mode is also there. By auto, it will be decided by the app itself. If your system is in the light mode, it will be in the light color. If it is in the dark mode, it will be in the dark color. And you can change the opacity as well. And for tint, you will get an option of choose color. So if you select that, you will have this color selector. So in the inner circle, you will have vertically, you will have 0 brightness and maximum brightness, and horizontally you have 0 saturation and maximum saturation, and the outer wheel will give you different colors, that is hue of the color. And if you don't want to select it manually, you can simply use the eyedropper tool, and then you can drag your finger on the wallpaper and it will give you the color of your choice. And it will also give you an option to select last 6 colors that you have set up in the app. And after that, there is one chromatic aberration. You will see some dispersion effects in the glasses shape, and then the merge distance. So how close the other two shapes are so that they can merge together. So now you can see right now, this is the look that I'm getting. And if I move slowly, you can see the real-time refractions behind the icon, behind the dog, behind the widget. And if I go to the lock screen and then unlock, you will see the shape are getting transformed from the lock screen to the home screen. It will give you a beautiful animation. And now the scale of the animation or the timing of the animation, you can decide based on the slider. At the left side, it is at 0. In the middle, it is at 1 second. And if you want those slow and relaxing animations, then you can just turn it on towards the 2 seconds. So this is how the 2-second animation would look like from the lock screen to the home screen. It will take 2 seconds to complete the animation. And that's pretty much it from inside the app. You can see there are some options for selecting single image, selecting a folder of the image, and instead of swiping left and right, you can just use previous and next for the previous and next wallpaper. you can import and export the layouts. It will use JSON files. So maybe you can share among your friends if you have the same phone. Otherwise, the layout can be a bit not aligned properly because it is set for a particular phone. But you can use it as a head start and then customize on top of that. Now, one more thing, let's say if you're not a fan of all these widgets and you want a grid of icons, so how can you set up those icons? For that, you just need to press edit layout on the home screen. Just make sure that you're not on the lock screen settings, but on the home screen setting. And you can say, I have this icon, I will just make a duplicate and move it upwards. So when I'm moving this, I can align the left edge with the bottom icons. And then I can easily duplicate to create a row of icons. And once that is done, so the horizontal grid is done, and now I'm going to move forward for a vertical grid. So I'll create a duplicate and I will move it on top like that. Let's say somewhere here. I'll create a duplicate, move it like that. And maybe one more icon over here. And then you can simply, because now I have a vertical icon alignments and the horizontal icon alignments. So I can simply align them like that one by one. So now in the previous versions, this alignment engine was not there. So it was quite difficult to set up these icon grids, but now you can do it very easily using the inbuilt alignment engine. So something like that. And you can see when we are duplicating it, because the previous shape was hidden on the home screen, on the lock screen. So you don't have to worry about all the shapes being visible on your lock screen. And you can see my phone is Pixel 9 and it is handling all of these shapes which are refracting the real-time class, and there is no lag when I'm swiping left and right. And this is how the animation looks like from the lock screen to the home screen. And it also depends where the shape's counterpart is on the lock screen. So let's say this shape is number 6, the widget shape, and on the lock screen, if I make it visible, it is right here. So let me move it somewhere here and make it an icon, or maybe somewhere here. And now, so you can see the animation for the 6th shape. If I just make it hidden, now it will be like coming from that point. And that's how you can set it up based on your liking. So by default, it supports up to 50 of these shapes, but I don't think you will be using all of them. But there is an option to use up to 50. And these are just all the steps, and it may look like a lot is happening in the app, but it is quite simple because it is just a step-by-step process. And I will also provide a text guide so that you can also read that if you don't want to follow from the video, and then you can follow these to set up your shapes inside the True Liquid Glass app. And it is available for 100 rupees on the Play Store, or it can be, I think, around $1 in other countries. So that's not very big amount, but if you don't want to spend that much, then I can provide a promo code. So at least you will have whatever you want to have. Like, let's say if you want to have a liquid glass, you can have a liquid glass. If you want a frosted glass, you can have that. If you want a material you look, you can have that as well. So that's pretty much it. You just go ahead, try this app, and let's see. You can share your screenshots maybe on either Telegram, on the Reddit, wherever you want to. And I would love to see how you create your things or your shapes or your home screen setup based on this app. So, see you around.
Done. अबे लास्ट वाली तो मेरी चालू नहीं करी.
सही में
कहाँ से होगी?
पता नहीं. हाँ हाँ, पता है.